And like that, here we are for another round of an introduction to inHarmony Interactive and Vibroacoustic Therapy. My name is Craig Goldberg. I'm with inHarmony Interactive. And this Zoom is really designed to give you a really general and deep dive overview into who we are here at inHarmony Interactive, our mission, our vision, where we're going, our products, and really give you a chance to dive into how the technology works and why it does what it does. And this is a great webinar for you to share with somebody that's just getting introduced to who we are for the first time. This is a great place for you to be if you found one of our Instagram ads and now made a serious investment with us, and now you want to learn what you just got into. It's also a great place to be if you're debating whether or not to get started with us and want to learn more about the industry. I've got a list of topics that I want to go through, everything from our products, what is formal vibroacoustic therapy, kind of a little bit of our history, how tactile transducers work and the science of it all. And then of course, we'll have a Q&A at the end. So you'll have an opportunity to ask questions if I leave anything out, or if you don't want to interrupt me, but by all means, if you want to interrupt me, and let's have a conversation around it. There's a bunch of you that don't have your video on. You don't have to turn your video on to be here. I am simply happy that you are here and grateful for your attention. We'll go about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes or so, and give everybody an opportunity to ask their questions and then be on your ways to enjoy your evening. I know it's getting later and later as the minutes go by on the East Coast as well. So thank you all for being here. So I am one of two co-founders here at inHarmony Interactive. Hi, Mike. Hey, Terry. How are you? It's good to see you. I'm one of two co-founders here at inHarmony Interactive. And what most people don't know in doing their history or doing their research on inHarmony Interactive is we've actually been doing this for 6 years. So it is January of 2023 when we're recording this. Our first Sound Lounge was actually produced in November of 2016. And I've been there since the very beginning. And we've been making vibroacoustic therapy technology for those 6 years. I'll go through a timeline as far as the products that we have as I dive deeper into those multiple products. But this is something we've been doing for a long time. And I say that as in it's a long time. It's longer than the 1.5 to 2 years you'd find inHarmony Interactive brand name in articles of incorporation and that sort of thing. And we certainly have a lot of customers that do a lot of deep digging. So I'm happy to get as granular as possible. I'm personally originally from New York. I got a real thick skin. I really only know how to do business one way, and that is direct and very honest. So there really aren't too many difficult conversations for me. There's really no wrong question. And I pretty much operate like an open book. If you want to talk about it, I'm pretty much game for the most part. To really touch on anything and everything. I really kind of pride myself on being that open book. And I truly believe in a rising tide raises all ships. So I work with other people in our industry. I have partnerships with other companies that make vibroacoustic therapy. I truly believe a rising tide raises all ships. I believe it's a wide open ocean when it comes to biohacking and understanding the human body. I believe everybody wants to feel better today than they did yesterday and better tomorrow than they did today. And my personal mission, not the mission of inHarmony, but my personal mission is to help each and every one of you feel better. I think the way that we can do that is by doing things a little differently today and making these tiny improvements that over the course of time, you continue to make tiny improvements. And then you look back on the trajectory of your life and you've completely changed your destination from where you started to where you are. This is something that I'm very passionate about. It's one of the reasons why many of you that are watching this and here live on this call have my personal cell phone. I just don't know any other way to do it. I create boundaries. I don't always answer the phone when you call, although I do try and answer the phone every time you call. If you do have my cell phone, no, you'll never wake me up. I sleep with my phone in airplane mode and really protect my family time as well. And I'm really on a mission to help people feel their best. And of all of the different technologies that are out there, and we're going to talk about what technologies we stack really well with, we complement really well with: red light therapy, neural entrainment, brainwave entrainment, biofeedback, photobiomodulation, red light therapy, blue light therapy, PEMF. I mean, you name it. There's a reason I chose vibroacoustic therapy and why I believe so passionately, as we'll talk about the benefits and talk a little bit more around what this is all about. There's a reason I believe so passionately in this. There's a reason why I've chosen to pour my heart and soul into this, and that is because of the broad stroke of benefit that vibroacoustic therapy has on every single person that we've met. And we'll talk about contraindications towards the end. But generally speaking, everybody with a brain and a nervous system, and that's every set of eyeballs that's on this screen right now, can benefit from vibroacoustic therapy. If you follow us on Instagram, you'd see my daughter sitting on her meditation cushion just a couple days ago. And I literally have video after video after video of my 2.5–3/4-year-old daughter loving this tech. And she's been on it literally since the first week she's been on this earth. And I know she is a better human for it. I know she feels stressed because, and it didn't even occur to me until I made this post yesterday. I was with my daughter all day on Sunday. That was yesterday. And she comes over and she literally grabs the phone that's in the kitchen, which is connected to our cushion. She literally grabs the phone and says, "Baba," which is dad in Turkish, "set me up." It's the cutest thing ever. And we walk over and I help her put on the headphones. And she was sitting on the headphone. And what was so amazing in the video yesterday was this sigh that she let go. Claire's nodding her head. It occurred to me at that moment that here is a 2.75-year-old girl with absolutely not a care. Like, she is catered to between me, my wife, my in-laws. Like, she has everything that she needs. And yet she let out this sigh of like a, oh, and it was the cutest and scariest thing I've ever seen. And it really made me appreciate the fact that my daughter is gravitating to the tech, yes, because it feels good, but because she's got her own stuff going on. And it occurred to me that we all have our stuff going on. And we all have a nervous system that needs to be reset. And you can bet your bottom dollar that when my daughter is in the middle of a tantrum, and she's not immune to tantrums, we still have those, even in as conscious as our household is, she still wants things that she can't have. And I have to tell her, no, not right now. She'd eat ice cream all day if she could. She'd eat pops all day if she could, even though they're vitamin C, cane sugar, all the things, right? But sometimes we got to tell her no, and sometimes she wants it. And when she's in that temper tantrum, her nervous system is activated. And this is the biggest thing that our technology does, and something that I think needs to be foundational in everything that we're talking about. And you'll hear me talk about this in all the podcasts and everything we're doing from a media perspective, but that is resetting the nervous system from sympathetic, which is a nervous system response associated with fight or flight, to parasympathetic, which is a nervous system response associated with calm and relaxed. And we're not going to dive too much into this unless you guys have questions towards the end, because that's really what I talk about in the podcast and everything else that we're doing on Telegram and everywhere else. But generally speaking, this is the biggest benefit that we bring. We all get triggered for all sorts of different reasons. And we help the body. Some of us are triggered all day long, from the second we check our phone in the morning until the second our head hits the pillow at the end of the day. And our technology, first and foremost, helps to generate the chemical cascades associated with bringing you back into a parasympathetic or a cool, calm, and collected, like the FONS, nervous system response. Foundational. The second big benefit that our technology brings to you, and this is the Sound Lounge, the practitioner, or the cushion, is that it literally sends a trigger directly to the muscles on your body, telling them to relax. So it overrides any signals from the brain or your heart or your gut or anywhere else that's sending signals out to your nervous system, constricting those muscles. And it literally, the vibrations literally shake out and tell your muscles to relax. This is something that's very powerful. And lastly, I think it feels amazing. I think, as many of you who have our tech or have been on our tech, it's, of all of the different biohacking modalities, red light therapy, PEMF, you don't really feel it. Cold therapy, cryotherapy, I don't, show of hands, anybody do cold therapy regularly? Like, yeah, no, my hand's not up, right? I hate the cold. I hate the cold. I'm from New York. I can go snowboarding all day long, but I was just watching Wim Hof climb Mount Kilimanjaro in shorts and a t-shirt, boots, not even a t-shirt, sorry, just shorts, boots, and walking poles to the top of Kilimanjaro. It's like blizzard, whiteout conditions, snow is blowing, and he's in like a pair of shorts, exposed skin and all. No, cold therapy doesn't feel good. Here's the cool part. Vibroacoustic therapy, for the most part, feels really, really good. And I say for the most part because it is possible for you to have detoxing effects. It is possible for you to come in and out of periods of discomfort with vibroacoustic therapy, but generally speaking, it feels really, really good and it's super relaxing. So a little bit about kind of our background and the benefit of our technology. And then I just want to kind of dive in a little bit to who we are and who our background is. My business partner, Dom, and I own and operate inHarmony. As of today, we have no investors. We've completely bootstrapped this through sales and building community and a slow, gradual grow. Hasn't been easy, for sure. I'd love to tell you that it was. I'd love to sit here and manifest that it was so easy. The reality was this was a build, a tough build. I'm grateful for where we are right now. And the first 4 years of this business was a grind, hustling and going from event to event, taking the sound lounges and the tech and doing the things very much like many of you are building your businesses for the first time and going from event to event and getting the word out and sharing with people. And there's nothing like events to do that. And I've done hundreds, if not thousands, in fact, probably tens of thousands of events. So I'm very happy to coach and to work with you on what those best practices are for doing events. We certainly have it down to a science with the sound lounge and with our tech, but generally speaking, I've been in some form of professional networking for 25 years of my career. So there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of value that I can bring there. But the first 4 years of building this business at Holistic Health Science, we were going from event to event, sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6 events a week, literally one a day, breaking up and setting up and breaking down, setting up and breaking down. And it was a tough build. It was really an effort to get as many people on the sound lounge as we possibly can. Now, very lucky in that just looking around the room, Claire, I know you're one of our affiliates. John, I know you're one of our affiliates. Raquel helps us from a PR perspective. Sabrina just learned about us from one of our affiliates. We have an amazing network that we lean on regularly, and we'll talk about how we lean on them just a little bit as I talk about how to get more involved in what we're doing. We use all of our affiliates and drive traffic to each and every one of their businesses so that they can do the demos for us, and we can in turn, inHarmony, can build your business and help and support you to build your business because it includes inHarmony tech. And you don't have to exclusively be using our tech. In fact, there are people that we promote that no longer use competitors' vibroacoustic tech, let alone the different lights, the Lucio light and the Pandora Star and the Anja light and Brain Tap and InLight Wellness. And I mean, I can't even, you can have an entire wellness center that has our tech in it and I will promote you. You can have a wellness center that has somebody else's vibroacoustic tech running our app and I will promote you, as long as you're active in our affiliate program. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I truly live that a rising tide raises all ships. I really want the best for every single person that's watching this. And I really want to support and build this community and utilizing those affiliates who, by the way, sit really close to the fire and know a lot of what's happening here at inHarmony. We keep them very well informed. And in exchange for that, we send them business and we send them referrals and we send them leads through the marketing that we're doing. It's a really cool machine that we have built and we're really just getting started, like just getting started. So our team is really spectacular. It's my business partner, Dominic Carnevale, who I love dearly. I know him exceptionally well. We've been friends for 10 years. We've been working together for 6. He is one of the most incredible human beings on the planet and just spiritually centered and grounded, a fantastic entrepreneur and somebody who really tries to do the right thing day in and day out. He has a 5-year-old son. Actually, he might even be 6 at this point, Bo, sorry. And he really is just one of the most incredible individuals. I'm going to share our core values real quick and a picture of me and Dom. You can find this on the About Us page on our website, and you can read up on my story and Dom's story. Core values are something that's really important to us. Both Dom and I are members of EO, Entrepreneurs Organization, and we lead our business through something called an operational guideline called Traction Tools, if any of you are entrepreneurs and are familiar with it. And these core values are really at the core of what we do. It's how we hire. It's how we bring people on board. It's how we find partners that we can work with. And these are really at our core. Dom and I wrote all of this. We went through a lengthy exercise that we revisit every single year to make sure that these core values are still at our core: curiosity, innovation, inspiration, community, and achievement. This is something that is so important to us. And this is a big part of who I'm speaking to right now. You know, obviously we hold innovation. We're constantly coming out with new products. We're super curious. I just spent 3 days walking CES. The only reason I was there is to learn and see what's new, what's out there. I travel extensively. I'm constantly talking to other thought leaders, and that's all just to feed on my curiosity and innovation. We're obviously pretty inspired and want to catalyze change in others. Our community that surrounds us is absolutely incredible. And Dom and I are, we're confident, but we're humble, and we're here to really take this to the next level. So you can read through who our team is and our backgrounds and a whole bunch about us on our About Us page. But kind of that's our team, and our vision is to really take this to the next level. We've been doing this for 6 years, and as I shared a little bit around the first 4 years of building this business, we were really standing alone in a field. There were, and still are, a number of other vibroacoustic companies that make and manufacture tech, but most of them are technicians first, manufacturers and business people second. And it was the other way around for us. Dom and I saw value in the technology. In fact, Dom was an owner of the tech and utilized the tech first as a client and found value in it. And then we turned it into a business. So Dom and I are really entrepreneurs first, and we've set up this business so that it can scale and grow. And then we're spawning and working with fantastic practitioners all over the country. I think of John Hill, I think of Claire, I think of many others that have been introduced to our tech and welcomed it in, gone through Kate Kunkel's Vibroacoustic Therapy course, and begun to learn and have become incredible practitioners utilizing our technology. I'm also a certified Vibroacoustic Therapy Practitioner, which basically is the study, which we're going to talk about here in a couple moments. What is vibroacoustic therapy, and what is that study, and how can you learn more? But our affiliates have actually gone out and educated themselves to now utilize our technology. And that's my happy place. I tell people over and over again, as far as the vision of where we're going, especially folks that are looking at us for the first time that haven't jumped in yet. I wanted to be really good at doing two things. The first is my camera is starting to recognize me because that's the hand signal for anyway. The first thing that I want to be really, really good at is making and manufacturing and distributing technology. So that's the business and the entrepreneurial side of what we do. We really want to be good and great at managing the supply chain, at working with our partners, and at getting a product from the manufacturing through the supply chain to our warehouse, and then ultimately through an e-commerce experience that's easy to understand and delivered to each and every one of you, and of course to your clients as you refer people to us. The other thing that I really want to be good at is building community. I want to be an evangelist for this technology, and they really go hand in hand. I was talking this afternoon with a new friend and a new podcast host that I'm going to be doing a podcast for. And the way that he introduced himself to me was to say, a friend of mine makes vibroacoustic technology. I was just on your site. I'd love to learn more about what you do and see if this is a good fit for my podcast. The reason his friend isn't on the podcast is because he's got a lot of viewers. And if his friend went on this podcast and sent this much traffic to his site, I don't even know if he has a site, to be honest, but if he started getting production orders of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 100, he's making them made to order in his garage, like most people in our industry. So distributing and manufacturing the technology on this side goes part and parcel with as big of a mouth as I can have to talk about what we're doing. And as many of you are watching right now, or many of you that have been with us for a long time, you're starting to see a lot more press and a lot more PR. And kudos to Raquel Figlo, who's on this call right now, and Rachel Svoboda. I'm sure I just butchered her last name. I love you, Rachel, who over at Sunday Brunch that's been helping us with marketing and PR. We're starting to do a lot of outreach. And the reason we can do PR and outreach is because we now command our own supply chain, and we're starting to manufacture 40 and 80 sound lounges at a time, 20 and 40 practitioners at a time. And I'll just make the announcement right now. We just placed an order for 150 sound lounges. It's not going to be here for 6 months because we got to build out the supply chain. But when we start ordering 150 sound lounges a month, these are numbers that are really, I mean, Claire's nodding her head, and I love the fact that you are. We were doing 5 a month not too long ago. Okay. So not only are we getting more and more reach, which is amazing and helps every single one of you that are on this call, and maybe how we found you. But the fact is, if Oprah called me, and by the way, I'm waiting on your call. If Oprah called me 6 months ago or a year ago and said, Craig, I love what you're doing. I'd love to have you on my show. I, I can't even tell you how many times my mom asked me when I'm going on Shark Tank, by the way. Right. But even that kind of exposure would cripple our supply chain. And it would leave us in a place where, like some of our competitors, where people are waiting years for our product, and I never want to be there. So now we're at a place where manufacturing is more than underway, and we're keeping up with our supply. We got caught with our pants down a couple of times. Even like right now, we're going to start shipping again next week, and many of you that are on this call are actually waiting for your sound lounge. But we're talking about 3 or 4 week waiting period, not 3 or 4 years. And we're finally getting to a point where we really are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger orders every month. And this to me is really exciting. So our vision is to continue to evangelize vibroacoustic therapy. And vibroacoustic therapy, VAT, is the body of research that governs what we do. It goes back just over 40 years to a gentleman by the name of Olav Skill, who in the late 1970s coined the phrase vibroacoustic therapy. Vibroacoustic, vibration and sound, is basically what we do. It's a very fancy word for focusing on specific frequencies and their impact on our physiology, our neurology, and our anatomy. And predominantly, it focuses on the frequency range of 30 hertz to 120 hertz. And I'll put that in perspective for you. The human ear has a frequency response of 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, or 20 kilohertz. Okay, so that subwoofer that you find under my desk or in your home stereo system is typically 80 hertz and below. So that subwoofer is 80 hertz and below. And really, 80 hertz and below is what you can feel, even up to about 100, 105 hertz. You can feel that. I'm going to show you a tactile transducer here in a couple minutes and show you how we create the vibration inside our technology. But vibroacoustic therapy is focused on 30 hertz to 120 hertz. And there is a vast body of research, most of which you can find on the science and research page of our website, that teaches specifically how each one of those frequencies impacts what aspect of our physiology. And if you're working with customers and you are putting people, the public or your clients, on the Sound Lounge, I highly recommend Kate's course. Kate Kunkel is a 20-year harp therapist. She's been working the field of vibroacoustic therapy for 20 years. She has worked with many different manufacturers of this technology. She works with us, and she works with a couple of others as well. But predominantly, anybody that is working with the public, I recommend her course. I don't want to recreate the course. It's a fantastic course. She is a spectacular human. It's the same course I went through to become certified as a vibroacoustic therapy practitioner. It is thorough. It costs you about $600. I don't know. I took it 4 years ago, so I'm not sure what it costs today. It's all online. It's self-taught. She gives you frequencies. You do need to have our tech before you start the course. So, and she teaches you, more importantly, about intake, about sitting with your client prior to the work that you're doing, evaluating different aspects of their overall health and wellness so that you can put together a specific care plan and a specific protocol. Now, when you think about formal vibroacoustic therapy, it's focused on specific frequencies and specific protocols, sometimes using music the client recognizes, sometimes using music the client doesn't recognize. And again, depending on the condition you're treating and the outcome that you're looking for, and there's a lot of different variables, and that's not what this is all about. But it is about specific frequencies. For what we're doing inHarmony, and Kate and I have had long conversations about this, including on Zoom, and you can find some of it on our podcast that we did together. inHarmony is about going out to the mass market. inHarmony is about creating tools and experiences that anybody can utilize. When you're using the inHarmony meditation cushion, I didn't even talk about our products yet. We'll jump into that too. And when you're talking about the inHarmony meditation cushion, the inHarmony practitioner, and the inHarmony sound lounge, it really is safe for all ages and all people. There are a couple contraindications, which again, we'll talk about towards the end. But generally speaking, at the end of the day, you're listening to music. You're listening to a broad spectrum of frequencies in our app. Every single track that's in our app is broad spectrum, including 30 hertz, 40 hertz, 50 hertz, 60 hertz, 68 hertz. They're not the same tracks that you're going to get through formal vibroacoustic therapy. They are broad frequency bands. And this makes it safe for everybody. At the end of the day, you're a guy or a gal listening to music. And I'm pretty sure if I asked for a show of hands, every single person on this call and every single one of you that are watching listen to music probably just about every single day, maybe all day, right? Different tracks down. This is a more intense delivery system, no doubt. But if you've ever been to a concert, if you've ever been to a nightclub, you've experienced the intensity that you're going to feel with the Sound Lounge. And this is what we create each and every day in your living room. So if you're working with outside customers, I highly recommend going through Kate's course. You can go to our science and research page and you can find more information there. This is the technology that sits inside all of our devices, actually. This is the inHarmony tactile transducer. They are made specifically for us. They are made to order from a manufacturer overseas. They do have our logo on it. And the inHarmony Sound Lounge, which we created in November of 2016, has 4 tactile transducers in it. It's driven by a 300-watt amplifier. It's contoured, dual density foam, ergonomically designed. It is our Cadillac. It is our most powerful unit. And it is really designed to be a standalone vibroacoustic modality. It's designed for you to get on it, push play, have your experience, or if you're a clinician or a practitioner, you're putting somebody on it, you're pushing play, you're walking away, you're going to do something else. On an 11-minute, 22-minute, 33-minute, I'm going to talk about our app. Our tracks go up to 66 minutes, actually 2 hours in the app. So if you want to put somebody on it for 2 hours and then walk away, you can go do whatever you need to do and then walk away. Our practitioner is designed to go on top of a massage table. It has 2 tactile transducers in it. And then our meditation cushion has a transducer as well as 2 speakers in it as well. And look for some innovation happening on the cushion front as well. But the magic is in this transducer. So most of us are familiar with the cone of a speaker. If you've ever seen a speaker that's moving in and out, behind it is a driver, kind of looks like this. This is a really terrible rendition of this, but behind that cone is a magnet. That magnet is moving that cone, and that cone is ultimately moving the air, which is moving, every air molecule is colliding until it hits your chest, and that's how we feel the bass. And when you're laying on our technology, there's no air in between you and the transducer and the magnet that's oscillating. So there's it's highly efficient. There's a very high level of efficacy, and literally every frequency is felt through your body. The transducer responds to frequencies between the range of 20 hertz and 200 hertz. So you're feeling 20 hertz to 200 hertz. Remember, vibroacoustic therapy focuses on 30 hertz to 120 hertz. So there's an overlap and an expansion of that. In the headphones or the speakers, you're hearing the rest of the frequency range for the auditory nerve and for your hearing. So the frequency range of the Sennheiser headphones that ships with our Sound Lounge and our practitioner is 8 hertz to 28,000 hertz. So, or 8 hertz below that of the ear, up to 25,000 hertz, which is obviously above 5,000 hertz above what the ear can hear. Because even though you can't hear those frequencies, parts of your physiology can absolutely interpret it. For example, the mechanoreceptors in your skin can feel vibrations down to about 10 hertz, maybe about 8 hertz. And you have mechanoreceptors all around your ears. So even those Sennheisers, when you put them on, you can hear, and I don't even know what the frequency range. John is an audiophile. John uses the AirPod Max, Apple AirPod Max with ours. I don't know what the frequency range is of those. I know it sounds spectacular and it's crisp and it's clear. John just unmuted, so I think he wants to say something.
No, I was gonna, if needed, that's all I did.
I always need you, John. You're amazing.
Rock on, brother.
So again, I don't know what the frequency range is on those, but you can use any headphones you want with our tech. We ship with great headphones, but there are certainly better and more expensive headphones as well. And the magic of our technology is the fact that your brain is interpreting signals through every mechanoreceptor in your skin for the frequencies coming through the transducer. And it's interpreting the same frequencies through your ears. So it overlaps and it creates this 3-dimensional, fully immersive auditory and physical experience that makes, from your brain's perspective, it feels as though you are inside the music. It is the most immersive expression of music you will ever feel. And one of the beautiful aspects of our technology is that you can listen to anything you want through our tech. Dark Side of the Moon sounds incredible. If you like the Beastie Boys, if you like reggae, if you like house music, if you like hip hop, just about every genre of music, smooth jazz, it all sounds amazing through the technology, as long as, and this is a big caveat, as long as the recording is high enough quality and it has the low end frequencies. So listening to the symphony, for example, is going to be more higher frequencies than low end frequencies. It's not going to sound as good, although it is still going to sound immersive, but you're really only going to feel the low end frequencies of the guitar, the violin, the string section, and that sort of thing. So keep that in mind. But you can listen to anything through our tech, and that is how our technology works. As you can talk about, or as you can listen to anything through it, I think this is a great time for us to kind of segue into the inHarmony Music Meditations app. And a big announcement that we haven't actually officially made yet, except on a couple of Zooms here and there, but Anthony Weiss, our director of harmonics, who's been responsible for making a lot of the music that is in our app, has now started with us full time. And as of January 1st, he is making music full time. So start to look for, on average, about a release every week over the next 3 to 6 months. We've got a pretty specific catalog of music that we're looking to do. We're also going to be making some upgrades to our app, which we can talk about offline and we'll talk about in Telegram, but many of you have been looking for playlists and a repeat function. Not never in our wildest dreams. I should stop saying that because we knew this was going to get big, but we thought it was going to take us a lot longer to get to 225 tracks in our app. Let's put it that way. And that's where we are right now, 225 tracks. And there are a lot more coming. We'll probably add 75 tracks this year. And I expect us to add more in partnership with BrainTap and more by way of partnership with other artists and really expanding. So inside our app, you're going to find 225 tracks made specifically for our technology with the specific intention built around the vision for how our technology is best used. So even though you can listen to anything, and John is absolutely phenomenal at orchestrating these different experiences utilizing his immense library of music, which at some point we are going to share with everybody, not the library, but I want more people to be exposed to John and the magic that he creates around our tech. It's really something special and really quite beautiful. But the knowledge and the understanding and putting 4,000 people on the tech over the last 3 to 5 years, that's where the magic really comes. And each and every one of you can get there. Eventually you'll figure out what sounds great, what feels great, and what really moves that person. And the magic of vibroacoustic therapy, specifically when triggering and working with behavioral conditions and folks that are treatment resistant, anxiety and depression, great opportunities for you to work with them is to play music that they recognize. And this is really something quite spectacular and really quite beautiful.
Can I jump right in for a second, Craig?
Absolutely.
I'm driving home from work right now. I had a young man crying, hugging me today. After an hour session on the Sound Lounge, we did Cassiopeia, I did the heart chakra, I did the third eye chakra. Then I played some familiar music to him that I played With or Without You by U2. I played a couple of other songs. I played a reggae song for him. He cried his eyes out and told me that he'd never had such an experience. And I'll just leave it at that I work in a drug and alcohol rehab facility, and this gentleman has been in that facility a couple of times. And he told me today that he thinks, this is different. Whatever happened to him today on that table, and I see this happen weekly with people, has changed that gentleman forever, and myself included. I mean, here's a guy hugging me and crying who we're all on camera. It doesn't matter who's looking. He doesn't hug men usually, and I do it all the time now. That's what this technology does every freaking day, and it's really just the tip of the iceberg. And I just wanted to jump in right there. And I'll go back on mute, brother.
No, look, music moves us,
Yeah.
and when you're utilizing such a powerful delivery system, and Stacia, I'll get to your question in the chat here in just a couple moments. Claire, it is new. We have new headphones, which I need to share with you too. It's actually the HD 280 Pro, as long as we're talking through it. Shipped with both the practitioner. We were using the 206s for a while. They discontinued it, so we were forced to upgrade. Music moves us, and it's one thing when it's through a tiny speaker, and it's another thing when you're feeling it through every single cell in your body. I'll give you a quick story, and this doesn't have anything to do with the Sound Lounge actually, but Um, I have a little iHome Bose, little tower that's in my kitchen, and I'm the first one up in my house. I go into the kitchen, I start making coffee for me and my wife. I start making green drink for my daughter and kind of getting the kitchen going. And my daughter was running around and while I'm kind of getting everything ready and everything set. And I don't know what she said. She said something that made me think of California Dreamin', the Mamas and the Papas. And I set into Spotify, play that track, and it started playing this track. And I'm telling you, within the opening 30 seconds of that track, every orifice in my head exploded. I was crying, snot. I was weeping, like my bottom lip was. I don't know what happened to me, but I walked into my bedroom where my wife was just getting up and about, and she's like, "What happened to your face?" She literally goes, "What happened to your face?" And I go, "I don't know. I played California Dreamin', and I just started crying." Why? Because I used to listen to that track a lot as I was a kid. I don't know if you guys remember the Pocket Rocket, I think it was, where they had these little cassette tapes, and I had that track, and I used to listen to it all the time. And something in me recorded a memory, good, bad, or indifferent, and it brought all of that back. So music, especially when it's familiar music, really plays to our emotions and emotional recall from those experiences and those expressions, and emotions start to come up and out. And when you're on something as powerful as the sound lounge practitioner, or the meditation cushion for that matter, it's a very visceral expression of that music. And therefore that memory starts to come back as well. It's really a powerful tool. And I highly recommend getting the training and working through this practice and learning this technology. I think it's really important. So that's our app. We talk a lot about solfeggio frequencies. There's a lot of training on how to navigate the app. You can find this on our website, inharmony.com. Go all the way down to the bottom to get started, and then scroll down to the bottom of that page, and you'll find we actually have 2 guides. I'm going to go through some resources here towards the end, but our Get Started guide and our manuals are all online. Everything is digital. And all the way down at the bottom, you'll find a bunch of videos that talks to and teaches you as much as we humanly possible. So as questions come through our Telegram community, I typically go and try and record video and then post it on YouTube so that it's there and it's there forever to kind of create a place. I'm very blessed in that we're very blessed. And then I get phone calls all the time, people telling me, just happened again today. Brooke mentioned to me before she bought her sound lounge that she has digested all of our content. And I'm like, that's a lot of content. She's like, I've been watching since Thursday. And I'm like, I love you. You're amazing. Right. That's why we create all of this and do all of this. So Brooke, I really do love you. I really do appreciate you. And I thank those that are doing the diligence, because it is a big leap of faith to find a company. It's one of the reasons why I think this interaction is so important, and why I invest so much time in going live and really showing you who I am. And Claire will attest, and John will attest to this also. This is who I am all day, every day. I don't know how to be any other way or do anything any other way. I'm just a straight shooter, and I'm just high on amazing life and connecting with this incredible community. So we talked briefly that you can stack our technology with a ton of different modalities. We have a long-standing partnership with BrainTap. So if you're familiar with BrainTap, or you're a distributor and affiliate for BrainTap, our tech works. We've co-created 140 different tracks with them that you can find in our app, and you can find our music in their app as well. The technology works seamlessly together. It does have to be hardwired. And we stack with red light therapy, PEMF, sauna. I love to use my tech, not in the sauna, but in conjunction. Stacking technology really just means before, during, or after. So there are technologies that work really well together, like red light therapy and BrainTap. You can use them at the same time. Platinum LED makes an LED strip that you can mount above you while you're laying on the sound lounge. Or I know a lot of people have a Juve light that they put against the wall, and they sit in meditation with no shirt on, and they have the red light therapy on them. So there's lots of technologies that we stack really, really well with. The EE system, grounding and earthing, heated blankets, the biomat, or the higher dose mat can be put on top of the sound lounge. Although I wouldn't run it up to the highest heat session just because it's foam on the inside, but certainly over 100, 110 degrees, no problem. I do this all the time. It is fantastic. My favorite evening routine. I get to do it probably 2 or 3 days a week, just with the kids and everything else I got going on, but not kids. Whoa. Just one kid, I think. So I will go out to my yoga mat. I will fatigue my muscles by doing as many push-ups as I can in a row, as many sit-ups, as many squats, as many crunches, and then as many pull-ups as I can. So I just fatigue muscles. If I do 3, great. If I do 20, great. If I do 200, even better. But it's really just about fatiguing the muscles and getting tired. I get in the sauna for 15 or 20 minutes. I take a shower. Sometimes it's cold. Less often it's cold. Most of the time it's warm. And then I get on my sound lounge and then I crawl into bed. And it is an unbelievable evening routine. The entire time I'm chugging water, I can go through 2 or 3 of these 32-ounce bottles. So stacking our technology with other technologies is absolutely incredible. I want to talk about inHarmony best practices. I want to talk about some resources. I want to talk about these adverse adverse reactions and the potential for contraindications, that sort of thing. And then we'll wrap up and I'll open up for a Q&A about 15 minutes, maybe less. So inHarmony best practices. So first and foremost, you want to make sure whatever the volume is on whatever input device you're using, whether it's the iPhone, iPad, an Android device, and a tablet, a PC, whatever, our app only runs on iOS and Android. It does run on iPad OS. It does run on iPod OS, but they are different operating systems. And we built our app for iOS officially, even though they do have the ability. It will also run on a MacBook Pro if you have an M1 chip. So I have an M1 chip on my laptop and I can run our app. It's pretty awesome. In the future, we will, at some point in 2023, pull the trigger and begin to develop our app to run in a browser. And then it'll run in a browser on any other device as well. And it'll be kind of native to that browser. Believe it or not, it's almost 20 grand for us to do that. So apps are unbelievably expensive. We will do it in 2023. It is on our roadmap, but I think playlists and a repeat function is more important. So that'll be the next couple of things that we're investing in. The app runs beautifully on all Android devices. The screen resolution and the way that that software happens to handle the different screen sizes is really quite beautiful. So first and foremost, make sure that whatever device you're listening to, the volume's at 100%. You want to send the full signal to the amplifiers and let the amplifiers meter the expression of vibration and sound. So best practice, first thing, a lot of the phone calls I get, and the first question that I usually ask if you don't have vibration is it at 100% vibration? And so that's the first thing to check. The second thing is whatever phone or device, use DND, use do not disturb, right? Make sure that your phone isn't getting text messages, bells, chimes, dings, phone calls, that sort of thing. You don't want to interrupt that session. And if you can, buy a device dedicated to that. You don't need cell service. The app can run offline and in airplane mode, but you do need to download the tracks that you want to play. But you can do that. And I highly recommend picking up I've got a Pixel that I run my cushion on. It's $150 on Amazon, and it really runs the app beautifully. It looks great, runs great, fast processor, the whole nine. So use DND. Sometimes when there's static in the system, there's a few things that you can check. First and foremost, dirty electricity. And I don't understand this exactly, but a weird thing happens when headphones are plugged in and the tablet that you're using is also plugged into electricity. Sometimes there's some crossover, and simply unplugging the tablet from the electricity removes the electricity. Other times it's because there's dust or dirt in one of the headphone jacks or one of the connections in the back. If you don't pay any attention to the back of the sound lounge amplifier, depending on your household, it can get dusty, pet dander, that sort of thing. Just dusting and cleaning out the different ports and terminals can come in really handy, and a lot of times take that away. Sometimes it's integral into the device and we have to replace the device, and that works too. But nonetheless, if you have static or any type of clicking and that sort of thing, reach out to us. I'm happy to help you troubleshoot it and to take a look at it. If you have sound from one ear in the headphones, most people don't realize this, but this line, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but you see that black line? It's easier if it's on my sweatshirt. That black line is actually where the contact for the headphones happens. And on left, right, and microphone headphones, you've got 3 black lines. This is for the sound lounge, which is mono. But when you have a left, right, you're going to have 2 lines. And oftentimes, if you only have sound coming out of one ear, it's either not pushed in all the way, therefore the black lines aren't lining up with one another, or there could be dust or something that's interrupting one of those signals as well. So John is correcting me and telling me that the black is not the connection. So I'm going to have to figure out what is what, and we're going to have to report back to this when I get back. So I'll have an update on this next month, because for the longest time, this is what I've been told. And the silver is the black is the insulator. Got it. See, this is why we keep John around. John, unmute your phone and teach everybody so that I
All
don't
right.
have to wear
Sorry.
egg on my face.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned that last. The black and on a lot of headphone jacks and iPhone jacks and all these adapters, sometimes it's white. The little black and the white is the plastic insulator between the three silver or gold conductors. The conductors are metal. All electricity goes through metal. So the three different, sometimes it's four. If it's an iPhone, it will have four silver conductors with three plastic pieces separating them so they don't touch each other. And the metal, iPhones have four because they have a microphone also. There's three in headphones. One is the left channel, one is the right channel, and one is the common ground that is shared by both. And those three connectors, those physical metal things, when you push a jack into a phone or into a headphone amplifier, it physically pushes a piece of metal. And when it stops, those three pieces of metal are touching three pieces of metal inside the jack, and they are kept separate by the little black or white plastic insulators between them.
John Hill, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't get any better than that. So there you go. So if you don't have good connection or it's not pushed all the way in, I can't even tell you how many times I've shown up at a Sound Lounge owner's house to troubleshoot sound coming out of one ear, only to literally push in one of the adapters that much further. And it obviously can affect the entire system as well. So again, and I tell everybody this, if you have any issues, just call me and let's go through a series of checklists together, and we can do it on Zoom, or we can do it on FaceTime or Telegram. No vibration with sound from the headphones is different from no vibration and no sound from the headphones. And again, each scenario has a different impact and something else for us to take a look at, but you just call us if you ever have any questions. And then as far as cleaning the technology, I'm a doTERRA fan. Some people are Young Living. I like to use the doTERRA cleanser, the On Guard cleanser. A little bit of mild soap and water in a mild soap and water mix is all you need to do to wipe it down. It's impervious. No fluid goes through the top of the Sound Lounge, the meditation cushion, or the practitioner. So just cleaning and cleansing it. The harsher the chemical, the more potentially you have to do damage, but you really don't need. Just the most basic of soap and water mixes is really ideal. And then I want to chat about resources. We have a number of different resources available to us. First and foremost, most of you have my cell phone number. There's a phone number, an address, an email address on the bottom of our website. Use it. It rings this phone and I answer it. So as does Anna, who's our ops manager. Dom sometimes answers the phone as well, but most of the time it's me that's answering the phone. And call me day or night, weekday or weekend. If you've got an issue, I want to talk to you when you're having that issue. Because most of the time I could just help you with a setting or a configuration or something like that. That's the number one resource. The next resource is our Telegram. We have a bustling community on Telegram, close to 300 active users that have our technology, that are using it on a regular basis. And then for those of you that choose to become an affiliate, we have an entire other chat of close to 310 or so affiliates that are active on our affiliate channel as well. These are great places for you to ask questions. I monitor this Telegram chat on a regular basis. My friends tell me I am faster to respond to the Telegram chat than I am to text messages, personal text messages that they send my way, for those of my friends that are in those chats as well. So I highly recommend using our Telegram community. I already mentioned our Get Started pages, as well as our user manuals. Our YouTube channel has a phenomenal resource and wealth of knowledge that's in it, most of which you'll find on our website, but some of which you'll find in our just on YouTube. And then of course our weekly lives that we do each and every Tuesday. I try and go live for at least 15 or 20 minutes and talk about what's happening in the world of inHarmony, talk about inventory, talk about production, talk about where we're at, and of course keep you up to date as things change. As of right now, I'm expecting a delivery of 40 sound lounges and 15 practitioners on the 16th. That's next Monday. If that changes, I'm going to go live and I'm going to share that, because I can't call every single person. Right now, I think I have 15 units or so that are waiting. I just can't pick up the phone and call everybody. So I got to put a one-to-many message out. So we do that through our weekly lives. And then we broadcast that on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter so that you can follow us there. Public. You don't need to have accounts. You don't have to be logged in order to see it. It's just a public account. And then, of course, we have our monthly Zooms. This Zoom right here, an introduction in inHarmony Interactive and Vibroacoustic Therapy. And then for our affiliates, we also do a Zoom the first Monday of every month where we get to drop in just with our affiliates to talk about the business side of things. The last thing I want to talk about is adverse reactions and contraindications. And there are a couple. So here's what I tell people. If you would be hesitant to get on a roller coaster, those are the people that you want to talk to, right? And for a lot of what I think are very obvious reasons. The sound lounge, the meditation cushion, the practitioner, we are vibrating and shaking every cell in your body. Believe it or not, the contraindications are not nearly as severe as they would be with a roller coaster or something else, right? But here's what I tell people. If you're in a high risk category, pacemakers are okay. But again, but not all pacemakers are built the same, and not all bodies that have pacemakers are built the same as well. They might have other things going on. So you always want to talk to somebody, and you always want to know where they're at, and you always want to meet them there. If they recently had surgery or have an open wound, you probably want to wait until that wound closes before you shake every cell in their body, right? If they recently had an accident or they're recovering from something and they have a brain injury or they have an active concussion or an active psychosis, you're going to want to hesitate and you're going to want to hold back on what that session is going to look like. Now, the session might be them laying on the sound lounge with no vibration, just listening to music. And that's perfectly okay, right? Maybe the headphones are too much for that person, but listening with a speaker is better. So there's lots of different ways that you can do it, most of which in any of these high risk categories or individuals that have concern, most of the time, the answer is simply to turn back the vibration, to lower the vibration to something that you can barely feel and allow them to experience that session, and then wait a couple days and come back to them and say, how do you feel? How was that? And then come back. For anybody that's starting with our technology, I got a phone call from a very talented and very experienced practitioner that's been working in the field of biofeedback and massage therapy and tuning forks and that sort of thing. And she called me 2 days after she got her practitioner up and running. And she said, hey, I've been having some adverse effects. And she started to share what they are. And she said, is this normal? And I said, it's not normal, and it's absolutely possible. And this was her, somebody who's around regular other technology on a regular basis. And all of a sudden, she started to have this detox effect, low-grade fever, cough, mucus, runny nose. These are all expressions of your body detoxing and getting rid of toxicity that literally gets shaken from every cell in your body and then into your bloodstream, and your body has to release it somehow. And those symptoms that we see are that of a detox, which is very healthy and very positive. You have a choice at that point to lay off the technology and allow that to pass, or to get back on the technology and push even more through yourself. She opted for the latter. She kept pulling through, and she's doing much better. So adverse reactions, few and far between, but there are certain scenarios for you to be familiar with. Kate does go through this in length in her course. So this is something that she goes through. And this is something that I'm going to have to release and put a video out. And maybe we'll slice and dice this video and put this out as well. That concludes 55 minutes of content. And I want to open this up for, first we'll do a recorded Q&A for anything that you want to ask about that I think the rest of the community can benefit from. And then I will stay on after I end this recording. And if you want to ask me a question that's personal or something that you're not comfortable talking about, this video is going to go up on YouTube. And I certainly appreciate that. So hi, everybody. The floor is open.
Hey,
Hey,
Greg,
Sabrina.
this is Sabrina. Quick question. So I'm a hypnotherapist, and I had a question right now. I'm really testing the meditation cushion on myself. So I'm experimenting with me first. But I wanted to know if I'd be able to implement hypnotic programming using my voice while a client is experiencing music as well in the vibroacoustic
It's a
way.
big yes. Yes, yes, yes. So without diving into it too much, I shot a video about this a long time ago, and I need to resurface it and find it or just reshoot it. But think of your sound lounge practitioner or meditation cushion as a peripheral. Think of it as a Bluetooth speaker. It's obviously a lot more complex than that, but generally speaking, it plays music like a speaker would. You can plug it into anything you want. I've had my sound lounge and practitioner and meditation cushion, for that matter, plugged into DJ equipment, stereo equipment, stages and bands playing live music, and most recently on New Year's Eve. In fact, that my sound lounge is still sitting at Shane, my friend's house, because we had it plugged into his DJ booth. So we were listening to music all night long, and on the floor was the DJ booth, and it was just plugged into the audio out of his mixer. Now, he had a pretty substantial and significant setup, but you can go to Guitar Center or Amazon and you can buy a small 4-port or 4-channel mixer, and you can connect the sound lounge out, and I can help you do this. You just call me and talk to me about how to do it, but make sure you get the right cables depending on what you're plugging into, the sound lounge, the practitioner, or the meditation cushion would be the 3.5 or 1/4 inch. And you could absolutely connect it to the output of that mixer. And now whatever's going into that mixer, you can now play through the sound lounge. This is actually a big part of vibroacoustic therapy and being a certified vibroacoustic therapy practitioner, because there are certain conditions where you need to play a frequency plus music they're familiar with, where the music goes over the frequency. For hypnosis and NLP, there's nothing like it. I mean, like, I have seen some incredible, I felt some incredible things. A dear friend of mine, Max Major, is a mentalist here in Vegas, and he came over and we hooked up the mixer, and he was literally doing he was doing hypnotherapy to me through the headphones and the sound lounge while I was laying down. And we need more people doing this. Like, we need more people doing this. It was that incredible. And then I even showed him how to play our music underneath it, and he brought the track in and out in between suggestions, and it was really powerful. I had a couple friends that were watching, and it was absolutely incredible. So that is a resounding yes, that you can totally do this, and I'd be more than happy to help you. I actually travel, when I go to major events, I always bring a mixer with me. I don't often set it up, but every now and again, somebody will come to me with Peter Sterling is in Sedona. He's got a beautiful electric harp. He's got a couple of them actually. And I'll see him at a show and he'll have his electric harp, and I'll be like, we need to plug that in. Let's get that plugged in. And he plays the harp into the electric guitar. The bass guitar sounds absolutely incredible through our technology. So does a viola is really ideal. The G chord on a viola is absolutely incredible through our tech, as well as a cello and a bass. As far as string instruments, sounds absolutely fantastic. So if you have those electric instruments, you can absolutely connect those to the sound lounge and play them as well.
You mentioned how, you're feeling when you go and sit on the sound lounge and things like that. Well, I attempted, that's how I heard about you, is I attempted to go to one of your affiliates, and she had one of those. And I was so curious in regards to, sound, because I've been wanting to implement it into my practice with my clients. And when I tried it, it normally takes me as a hypnotherapist with my clients about 20 minutes to induce somebody, like provide an induction to help them get to a meditative state, that theta brainwave. And with the SoundCloud, I literally felt myself going into an induction within 5 minutes. And so in my mind, I said, oh my gosh, this could be such a rapid way of providing healing and progress of emotional release for so many of my clients, instead of spending so much time trying to get there. So that's one of the reasons why this really interested me. So my ultimate goal is to really buy as many meditation cushions and have a room filled with people where I can provide hypnotic programming while they're all sensing all these different vibrations at the same time.
Yes.
That's my ultimate goal. So thank you for explaining that. That really helps a lot.
Very welcome. Thank you for your interest. So That said, you could, first of all, there's a lot of different things that you can do, and you have my full resources to help you do it. You could, if you wanted to string 15 together, you totally could. You need different amplifiers to do it, and they're not expensive, $40 each. And I can help you get all of that stuff and the cables and the wires in order to do it. But you could be sitting on a cushion that is connected to the mixer, that is the output and the lead cushion, that then sprawls out to all of the other cushions where everybody else is sitting, and you could be speaking into the microphone that you're hearing through the headphones, and everybody else is hearing and feeling with music playing through their cushion as well. You can create something pretty magical. Likewise, you could also run each and every one of those individual, and you can play a recording of you doing that, and I can help you do that too. So there's a lot of different things that you can do from that perspective. You could have different segments where they might start here and then come into something live. We've had some pretty big visions for what we would create if we had a live studio, which we're not going to have in 2023, but it might be another time as well. And bye, Stacia. Thank you. So yeah, there's a lot of potential things that we can do there. Once you're one of our clients, even if you aren't one of our clients, you have full access to me. So you want to book time on my calendar, I'll give you a link, my Calendly link that'll let you do it. And I've got folks that just book 15 minutes. They're like, hey, I just want to bounce something off you real quick. And once it's on my calendar, generally speaking, I'm there. And very, very happy and excited to connect and to learn about stuff like this, and to collaborate and to do stuff that's never been done before. We've got the patent on the meditation cushion. There isn't another meditation cushion like it on the planet. So I can honestly tell you that nobody's connected 15 cushions together and done hypnosis through it. I can tell you Wendy and Tasha in Sedona have 5 cushions together, but they're not doing live hypnotherapy through it. That's for sure. So there's some really exciting stuff that you could say you're the first person to be doing this, and that's pretty exciting.
Thanks, Craig. I'm excited too. I
Yeah,
can't
you're
wait
welcome.
to try that. Thanks.
Awesome. Cool. Anybody else that has any questions that you want to ask? All right, I hear crickets. So with that, I'm going to end this recording, and thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.